about. Okay, that's what I tried to do. So I'm gonna go away right. Okay, hopefully I won't go away, but I'll be back right after these commercial messages. So with you'll find this very interesting. The clock on the wall says it's 6:29 in the morning. I'm gonna go with it. We'll be back.
Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Over
Mattress
here.
Firm's best deals are happening now. Save up to $500 on top selling brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchases. And don't forget hot buys like up to 50% off select queen beds. Shop now and save.
A dry start to the new work week. Temperatures up to 76 under a mix of sun and clouds. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy.
It's too hot.
Degrees. Most of Tuesday will be dry, but we will be watching a strong system pushing in from the west. Showers and storms increasing coverage from the west first, later into the afternoon, and then it all pushes east. So everyone sees rain and storms Tuesday evening, Tuesday night to Wednesday morning, and some of the storms could be strong to severe. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Stewart on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We've got a multi-vehicle accident, 231 northbound in front of Southern Homes and Gardens, headed towards Wetumpka, so please use caution in that area. That's 231 northbound in front of Old Southern Homes and Gardens. Outside of that, we're looking pretty good. Interstate system's moving smoothly. You keep listening, we'll keep you posted. Whether your credit is excellent or just plain slow, a cash-out refinance or equity loan is just a call away. Call the A-Team at NCS in the
That don't help me either.
7-9000. Figure 2876. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
You love your car, yes. But why are you not loving it with those tires that carry you and your family everywhere? Let Chico's Auto Pros show some love with our super savings on tires. Chico's Auto Pros.
Mary Tyler Moore's first TV series was Richard Diamond, but her face was never shown, only her legs. We finally got to see Mary in the Dick Van Dyke Show, and later, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which won 29 Emmys over 7 seasons. Mary and her husband, Grant Tinker, founded the MTM production company and produced some of television's finest series. I, too, am happy after all. We salute Mary Tyler Moore.
That's right, $49 down delivered. With over 300 units available now. And budget has prices starting at $6,900. Many units with less than 10,000 miles. Compact, midsize, full-size luxury, cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, Toyota, Honda, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, all makes, all models, all on sale now, starting at $49 down delivered. Lenders
Man, this is truly messed up.
Loans through local credit unions and national lenders, backed by Capital One. Rates from 2.38% APR and up to $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book on your trade. Prices from $6,900. I solve situations, down payment, trade value, or financing. Oh, did I say $49 down delivered? See me, Matt Parsley, or see one of my solutionaries at Budget Car and Truck Sales, 61 Mendale Parkway next to Fraser Church, or 508 McQueen Smith Road across from Walmart. Visit us online at buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com.
Katie Britt is a law and order Christian conservative running for the Senate to secure our border and protect hard-working Alabama families from violent crime. As Alabama's senator, Katie Britt will fight to finish President Trump's wall and will always back the blue. Here's Shelby County Sheriff John Seminier.
With the Biden liberals trying to defund our police, we need a senator who'll have our backs. And that's why I'm supporting Katie Britt. Katie will get tough on violent criminals and fight for strong
Right, sure she will.
keep illegal immigrants and deadly drugs out of Alabama. Take it from me, Katie Britt is a strong conservative who will keep your family safe.
Sheriff Samaniego has it right. Christian conservative Katie Britt is tough on crime and tough on illegal immigration, and she's ready to fight for Alabama families.
I'm Katie Britt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jet for Alabama.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Get Upside Gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime your bank account, PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. That's code TIME.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial, The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Alrighty then, we are back. Now, I have I got a little piece for you guys this morning. Hopefully this will motivate you. And then when we get back, we'll be able to talk about some other things. I got a guest coming in somewhere around 7:15, somewhere around that time. Guy running for House seat number 31. Well, you know, they got to be desperate. Not desperate to come up here and talk to me this early in the morning, but I do appreciate it. And if I can get Katie Britt up here, who keeps running from me, I be dogging her on Twitter too. Hey, you scared of me? She won't ever come. She won't ever answer they won't ever answer my. They're probably telling her not to. I don't know why. I mean, if you can't handle me, my God, how you gonna handle the folks up there? Come on, man. Okay, and you know what I tell my friends? Some of my conservative friends. I got a lot of conservative friends. I really do. Got a lot of them. But you don't make friends by going places where you already got friends. I'm just trying to tell you, if you want to convince people that you're a leader, then go into the lion's den and convince the lion that he shouldn't eat you. Okay, now that's what I call persuasion. But anyway, let me do what I got to do here. This is a part of our little thing. Who's this? I knew that's up that fool. Okay. Anyway, let us go. I'm not going to answer the phone this time around. Unless I tell you to call, don't call this hour, okay? So that way, at least I have to have one day I have to deal with that fool, whoever that is. Anyway, let us go to my piece. I forgot the name of it, but I listened to it yesterday. It's really good. So we'll be back right after this. Okay, hold on, make sure that turn that on right quick.
But let me tell you something I know for sure. If you want to be successful or happy in this life, you got to have God in your life. You have to include God in your life. I'm a perfect example of this fact. You ain't got to be perfect to have God in your life, because you're not perfect no way. You quit going down to these churches preaching perfection, because there ain't none. I get so amazed at people who come see me, and then I just run like sit
I'm reading it.
with her arms full. I said, "Ma'am, you're not having a good time." She said, "As a matter of fact, I'm not." I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I'm really disappointed in you." I said, "You really?" I said, "How so?" She said, "I thought you were a Christian." I said, "I am a Christian." She said, "But I've heard you use profanity several times." Okay, I'm a cussing Christian. I don't understand how that stops me from being a Christian. I have flaws because I'm a human. Because you might not cuss, but you do something. So what? You don't cuss. You do something. Because there's none perfect, no, not one. So why I'm sitting up here fronting and faking like I'm this perfect dude so I can say I'm a Christian, when all them Christians, ain't nobody perfect. You can't be perfect, man. But you can have a relationship with God. You can sit up and fake the funk if you want to and say you're perfect, but you're not. You're not. Everybody in this room is broken. All of us is broken. That's what you need God for. Because we all broken. Everybody. I don't care who you are. And it ain't no you more broken than somebody else. You broken. What difference do it make? Somebody told me one time, if it's 3 people on a boat and a person dive off the boat to swim to shore, and he get 100 yards away from the boat and he drowned and sink. Then the next person dive in the water and he get 500 yards off the boat, but he drowned and sink. And the last man get off the boat and he dive in the water and he gets 6 feet away from shore and he drowned and he died. Who the better swimmer? Who the better swimmer? Y'all all drown. I don't care how far you go. You can sit up here, man. You can keep talking this perfection thing as you want. You get close as you want. We all gonna come short when it comes to perfection. Look, form a relationship with God just the way you are. God take you just the way you are.
When God called me, he meant me. He didn't want me to act like nobody. He didn't want me to imitate nobody. I don't have to forfeit my uniqueness and start walking around acting like you, because I was created. Every curvature was designed to fit a lock. And when God gets ready to plug me in, something is about to open up. I'm telling you, God has made you a key. You're broken in all the right places. You're cracked in all the right spots. You need to re-examine yourself. I want you to take a minute and praise God for you.
And you realize that God is your doorkeeper, that even iron gates, doors that look impossible, situations where you don't see a way out, that God has the remote control, that you can live in peace, you can stay in faith, knowing that God will get you to where you're supposed to be. Part of the test is when the gate is not moving. Peter kept walking. Didn't open up until he got to it. You have to keep walking by faith. The medical report is not improving. Your child's not doing better. Your dream is not any closer. That iron gate is staring at you. Thoughts whispering, you might as well go back. You made it through a couple of closed doors, but this big one is not going to open. You see the iron. You see the medical report. You know what your finances are. No, keep walking by faith and not by sight. When it's the right time, it's going to open of its own accord. You didn't have to force it, manipulate, strive. It will be the hand of God. That's what happened with us, with the Compaq Center. After working almost 3 years, one of our main votes backed out. Now we were 1 vote shy. The final vote was in 2 days. Didn't look like it would happen. Like Peter, this was an iron gate. We were tempted to think, well, too late now. This gate's not going to open. Instead, we just kept on walking. God, we only have 24 hours left. We don't see a way. It looks impossible, but we know you're the doorkeeper. You're the one that opens and closes doors. At the last minute, a lady I had never met called a council member that had been against us the whole time. He suddenly changed his mind, and we got the facility. The gate opened of its own accord. I didn't make it happen. Was it my skills, my talent? It was the hand of God moving on a lady that I didn't know to call a council member on our behalf. She was able to do in 5 minutes what I couldn't do in 3 years. You may not see any sign of that iron gate opening. It looks immovable. The sickness, the addiction. How can you accomplish your dream? Just keep on walking by faith. Keep thanking God. Keep declaring his promises. Keep speaking victory. God is about to step in as your doorkeeper. It's going to be unusual. Of its own accord, it's going to open. It's not going to happen the way you think, with the people you think, how the experts think. You're not going to be able to explain it. You will know it is the hand of God. What's interesting is the whole time that Peter was following the angel, he thought he was dreaming. He thought he was seeing himself leaving the dungeon, going past the guards, the iron gate opening. He didn't realize it was real until he got out on the street, walking as a free man. Then the angel suddenly disappeared. Sometimes while God is working, you don't realize all that's happening while you're in it. He's doing things right now that are leading you to open doors. Only after you get past it, you'll look back and think, wow, God, you were with me the whole time. You were ordering my steps. You brought that person across my path for a reason. You made me invisible to those people that worked for me. How many times have angels worked on our behalf, but we couldn't see it? Even now, God is working behind the scenes. There are doors he's about to open for you. Doors of healing, doors to freedom, doors to abundance. Looks like an iron gate, but of its own accord, it's going to open. When Peter realized what had happened, that it was real, he walked to Mary's house where everyone had gathered to pray for him. It was in the middle of the night. He knocked on the door. Young lady answered. She was so surprised to see Peter, she shut the door, ran back, and told everyone that Peter was there. I'm sure Peter thought, oh God, not another closed door. Verse 16 says, Peter continued knocking. When they finally opened the door, they were all amazed at what God had done. There are doors God will open for you that are going to amaze you. Now, don't be discouraged because they've been closed a long time. That was all a part of the process. God has not forgotten about you. The angel is about to show up. Iron gates are about to open. It's not going to be what you were thinking. It's going to be bigger, better, more fulfilling. A friend of mine works as a television news reporter. She had a real bad problem with rosacea. Her skin would get so red. She couldn't find any makeup that would keep it covered. If she accidentally touched her face, it would rub off and not look good. She decided to quit her job and try to develop makeup that would fix her problem. Came up with a product that she really loved. She and her husband tried to get funding, but bank after bank turned them down. Told them how the cosmetic field was too competitive, controlled by a few global companies, that there was no way they could break in. It was like an iron gate. She didn't see how it could ever open, but she did understand that God is our doorkeeper, that he can open doors that no person can shut. Her dream was to get on QVC, one of the home shopping networks. She knew if people could see her product that they would want it. She contacted QVC, but she is turned down again and again. So many people trying to get on. She was down to her last $1,000. Didn't know what she was going to do. She went to a big cosmetic convention. She had a 3 feet wide booth where she was showing people her product. Across the way, QVC had a huge display. This older lady came by and said, "Honey, I love your product. I'm one of the buyers for QVC. I'm going to tell my staff we need to have you on." She used her influence to open the door. This young lady went on QVC. Her product took off, broke all kinds of records. My friend Jamie Kern, the founder of IT Cosmetics, became a huge success. She was on QVC 200 times a year. Her company is one of the largest cosmetic companies in the world. Years later, Jamie asked the lady why she put in a good word for her. The lady said, "Jamie, I liked your product, but it wasn't about the cosmetics. When I saw you that day, I heard God say to me, go help that young lady." Sometimes God will use people to open up these iron gates. He has the right people already lined up for you. You may not even know them now. They will come to you. They'll use their influence to push you forward. You don't have to make it happen. You just keep honoring God. Keep him first place, and the doorkeeper will open doors that no person can shut. Like Jamie, you may have worked hard, prayed, believed, done all you can, but nothing has worked out. Get ready. I believe and declare doors are about to open for you. In your business, your health, relationships, your finances, like Peter, these iron gates, doors that look permanent of their own accord, are going to suddenly open.
One great entrepreneur said, "I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You showed up because you're building a business that you can stand and say, I did this. I did this. This is my dream. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. Yes.
Okay, then. All right, then. I did this. That's good. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. I think the last guy that was on Les Brown, I think he's actually going to be in Montgomery at some time soon, but I don't know exactly when he's going to be here. But he will be. So good morning to you. Okay, it's a Monday morning, right? Things happen on Mondays that don't normally happen on other days. Okay, it just don't happen. And it's 6:48 in the morning. If you got to be there by 7 o'clock, you got 12 minutes by which to arrive. If you got to be there at 6:30, you're a little late. But just tell the boss you was out there listening to me, and you just had to be late. You had to get the scoop. Okay, you had to get the scoop. I see everybody's not as glad about that park, that new park that the mayor is putting up. See, Kiwi. Well, we'll get on that one some other time. Anyway, good morning to you. It is now time for lessons of life. And these are the things that you learn by living. You can't learn them by what somebody else did it. It's kind of like running the 2-mile run. You can think you can run it, but you'll never know until you get on the track. All right, then. But the word of the day, that's the first thing. It is my attempt to shall we say, lengthen your vocabulary string, that you can tell people where to go and make them want to hurry up and get there quick. Okay, without actually telling them to do it, they'll never know you just insulted them. Okay, I'm just saying, not that insulting is a good thing, but sometimes you just got to put people in their place. But these are things that these are words that you can use to further your career. Okay, all right, here we go. So today's word of the day is resilience. Now, resilience is a practice that seemingly is leaving the fabric of America. Okay, because everybody wants a guarantee, not an opportunity. Okay, everybody wants a guarantee. Resilience, an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Now we have a tough problem in America doing that now. You know, we do. We just can't seem to just kick butt and keep moving. Okay, there's another word called mettle, mettle, which means the ability to suffer through hard times and keep moving on. But this morning's word is resilience, an ability or the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You may not believe this, and you may not believe this, but there will come a time in your life that you're going to have to deal with either change or misfortune. It's coming. I mean, it's coming. So what are you going to do about it when it happens? You must be resilient. You must bounce up. And yes, and sometimes it is hard, but you got to do it. You got to do it. Stop telling your kids, make your kids cry babies in a corner. You have got to look it in the eye and deal with it and keep on moving. That's right. No matter how bad it gets. Because like I tell people, even on cloudy days, the sun is still in the same place it's always been. But sometimes when you're going through the storm, you don't realize that. Okay? You got to be resilient. Okay? If you look in the dictionary, you'll see resilient and see my picture. Okay? Because I try to be resilient. Okay? Oh yeah, here's another thing. One more thing. You got to keep a sense of humor about things too. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a sense of humor, your life's gonna be miserable. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be miserable. If you don't have a sense of humor, you are gonna have an arduous time and an arduous life. That means difficult. Okay? Have a sense of humor. Now here is the lesson of life. This is what things you learn by living. When you realize that you don't know a whole lot about many, many things, then and only then are you prepared to gain wisdom. Let me say that one more time. When it hits you in the face one day, when you realize that you just don't know a lot about a lot of things, like me, you'll see me in the dictionary on that one too. Then and only then are you prepared to gain wisdom, because you are prepared to listen. And listen, every human being ever been on God's green earth has had that problem where sometimes we didn't want to listen. So anyway, you want to gain wisdom? Understand that you don't know everything. And you will find wisdom in the most unlikely places and the most unlikely people. Okay? I'm just telling you, you might want to put that in the old pipe there and smoke it. It is March the 21st. It is the 80th day of this year. And these are some of the things that happened on this day. In 2006, social media website Twitter was established with the sending of the first tweet by co-founder Jack Dorsey, who wrote, "Just setting up my Twitter." In 1556, Thomas Cranmer, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, was burned at the stake for heresy. That was kind of hot. 1685, composer Johann Sebastian Bach was born in Germany, or like we used to go to Deutschland. In 1788, fire broke out in New Orleans on Good Friday, destroying 856 out of the 1,100 structures. One death was reported. What a blessing. In 1918, during World War I, Germany launched its spring offensive on the Western Front, hoping to break through the Allied lines before American reinforcements could arrive. Although successful at first, the spring offensive ultimately failed. 1925, on this day, Governor Austin Peay signed the Butler Act, which prohibited the teaching of the theory of evolution in public schools. Tennessee repealed that law. Took me a while to get there, but in 1967, okay, you can teach evolution. Okay, I guess, Woo. I think evolution, when God created the earth, he put facets of evolution in it. Okay, so I don't think there's nothing wrong with teaching evolution. But if you say we evolved, the whole earth evolved from something, well, I think you're kind of crazy there. But there's nothing wrong with teaching that. Hey, listen, God makes things happen. All right, in 1935, Persia officially changed its name to Iran. 1945, during World War II, Allied bombers began 4 days of raids over Germany. 1963, the Alcatraz Federal Prison Island in San Francisco Bay was emptied of its last inmates and closed at the order of Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy. Good for them. 1976, champion skier Vladimir Spider-Savic was shot and killed by his girlfriend, actress singer Claudine Longet, in the home they had shared in Aspen, Colorado. Longet, who maintained the shooting was an accident, served 30 days in jail for negligent homicide. Well, let's not say money don't get you something. 1981, Michael Donald, a black teenager in Mobile, Alabama, was abducted, tortured, and killed by members of the KKK. A lawsuit brought by Donald's mother, Beulah May Donald, later resulted in a landmark judgment that bankrupted one Klan organization. Right there. I didn't know that. Where was I in 81? I was in Fort Lewis. And I didn't know that happened down there. We still had that going on. We still had the KKK in 1981. I didn't know that. Whew. Man, I guess we still got some of them. Okay. Hey. 1990, Namibia became the independent nation as the former colony marked its 75 years of South African rule. 2007, former Vice President Al Gore made an emotional return to Congress as he pleaded with House and Senate committee to fight global warming. Skeptical Republicans questioned the science behind his climate change documentary, An Inconvenient Truth. Now, Mr. Gore has not stopped traveling airplanes, private airplanes, and cars, and limos. So evidently, he doesn't really take it seriously because his Corbin patch, or whatever they call that. What's that stuff they always talk about? Not Corbin. Anyway, his ability to, what is that thing? My brain just don't work sometimes on Monday. What is that thing they're gonna sell us? Carbon. It's carbon. Excuse me. His carbon footprint is a lot bigger than mine, and he wants me to give up my car. Yeah, right. All right, moving right along. 1 year ago, as a SWAT team moved in on his SUV, Mark Condit, the suspect in a deadly bombing that had terrorized Austin, Texas for 3 weeks, used his own devices to take his own life. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologized for the major breach of trust. The apology came after it was revealed that the data mining firm Cambridge Analytica, whose clients included the Trump campaign, may have used data improperly obtained from Facebook users to try to sway elections. Well, that's what we call commercial. They try to sway elections also. Okay, the fourth nor'easter in 3 weeks dumped more than a foot of snow on southern parts of the East Coast, and that is some of the things that happened on this day in history in America. Okay, a nor'easter. Oh, I'm glad I don't live on the East Coast. Anyway, good morning to you. I used to go up 95 all the time though. When I stationed to brag, I used to go up to 95 all the time, except when it was snowing. I couldn't handle the snow. All right, well, I guess that's the end of my little tirade right here now. Those are some of the things. I give you the word of the day: resilience. Resilience. That's the day. Okay. Once we learn how to do some of that, we gonna be all right. Okay. So y'all just hang loose. I'll be back in a little bit, hopefully. Anyway. Anything else? Okay, nobody has anything else for me? All right then, we'll be back.
On News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WXFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. We've learned that the deadly shooting in Tuskegee Friday night was a Tuskegee University football player.
Let me see where my guest is.
20-year-old Reginald Around Friday night off Martin Luther King Highway. 21-year-old was arrested. The church in Montgomery is working to provide relief to the people of Ukraine. The Belreda Church of Christ church members and volunteers loaded up more than 240 buckets of supplies and basic necessities. Those will be sent to countries like Poland for Ukrainian refugees. The odds of Alabama getting a lottery are getting better. There are now 4 different pieces of gambling legislation at the State House, and bills are strictly for a state lottery. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a Cumulus Media.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. The attacks on Ukraine are intensifying. Russian forces targeting buildings with no regard with who is inside. A maternity hospital was hit, an art school, and now a shopping center.
In the heart of Kyiv, an inferno. After Russian shelling targeted this shopping center, and the devastation is near total. But it's in Mariupol where the horrific scale of Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine is laid bare. This once thriving southern seaport, home to nearly 500,000, is now a wasteland.
Our MTS tie-up says Russia gave Ukraine an ultimatum to surrender the port city, but Ukrainian officials say they won't back down.
I'm Nikki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. The UN calculates that more than 3.4 million Ukrainians have now fled the country, most women and children, since the men have been ordered to stay behind and fight. But nearly 6 million more are believed to have been internally displaced within Ukraine. That's a quarter of the population rendered homeless.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe tells us President Biden is heading to Brussels later in the week for emergency meetings with world leaders that include a NATO summit. He'll head to Poland on Friday.
Later this morning, the president will speak with the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, and Great Britain about their ongoing coordinated response. That trip to Poland later this week is designed to thank that country for absorbing so many Ukrainian refugees.
The president will not visit Ukraine while in Europe. This morning, the confirmation hearings begin for President Biden's Supreme Court nominee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. If confirmed, not only would Judge Jackson be the first Black woman to sit on the nation's highest court, she would be the first former public defender on the court as well. Supreme Court Justice Thomas is in the hospital. Our chief legal correspondent, Jen Crawford, with details.
The court has released a statement with very few details, saying only that he was admitted on Friday evening after experiencing, quote, flu-like symptoms. A court spokesman has confirmed he was tested for the coronavirus and was negative for COVID. He did undergo other tests and was diagnosed with an underlying infection.
Chaos when shots were fired this weekend at a car show in Arkansas.
A 23-year-old man was killed and 27 were wounded when 2 people got into a gunfight during a car show that's part of an annual community event in the small southeast Arkansas town of Dumas.
Everybody knows everybody, so imagine the victims, it impacted all of us.
6 children between the ages of 19 months and 11 were among those wounded. Police are still looking for the shooting suspects. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Ahead of the open this morning, markets took a dip. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
If you work remote, Staples has you covered.
A mid-mod desk chair to rejuvenate my ho-hum workspace.
Staples has you covered. A gaming chair for a serious competitor.
A super stylish desk that will save me space and money.
Staples has your remote workspace covered with functional furniture and organizational items curated by Staples Work From Home Style Squad. And this week, save up to $100 on select chairs. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 3/26, limit 2, in-store only.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Austere Sony Discman off.
Last year, sales of compact discs were up for the first time in 17 years. A CD resurgence could be following in the footsteps of vinyl records.
Okay, was this a blip on the radar because of circumstances, or is this an actual real trend like we saw over the past 5 years with vinyl?
Billboard magazine's Jason Lipschutz mentions a possible fly in the ointment.
So many stereos now operate on Bluetooth. There's just not going to be that many places that can play CDs.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
The Grammys have given Kanye West the boot. His performance has been pulled due to what they're calling his concerning online behavior, including using a racial slur talking about the Daily Show host Trevor Noah, who just happens to be this year's host. Noah says he had absolutely nothing to do with the decision, tweeting, "I said counsel Kanye, not cancel Kanye." Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville. On behalf of the Myers family and our entire team here at Just Blinds, we want to sincerely thank you for selecting Just Blinds as the best, your #1 choice for blinds, shutters, and drapes in Central Alabama. Just Blinds has been delivering on our family's commitment to provide quality window treatments at affordable prices and to deliver the absolute best in customer service before, during, and after the sale for over 35 years. Please visit us online at gojustblinds.com.
Hello, this is your Congressman Barry Moore. Are you a veteran in need of assistance with the VA? Do you need help accessing service records or disputing a disability ratings claim? I understand the red tape that many veterans face, and my office is here to serve you and would love to help if we can. Please visit my website, barrymore.house.gov, or call my office at 334-478-6330.
This message was paid for by the official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents, as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com. Or call 1-800-633-9110.
Come fix my home.
For over 50 years, you've trusted Bill Bradley to fix your home. So when it's time to replace your HVAC system, we'll come fix your home and give you a $300 instant rebate. This month, Bill Bradley Services is offering a $300 instant rebate on any HVAC system replacement. Call us today. Bill Bradley,
Bill Bradley wants
only
to
certified room dealer.
fix my home.
Certificate number 84449.
Another Guardian Credit Union story.
Hey, are we trying the same as usual?
Yeah.
How's your baby girl doing?
She's great, but with 3 kids, we really need more space.
You should check out Guardian's Credit Union. We got a home equity line of credit from Guardian to finish our basement. They have low rates and a great team that's easy to work with.
Really?
Yeah, my mom got a Guardian home loan to buy her house. They refinanced too.
Thanks. I'll check them out.
Connect with Guardian for all your lending needs.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialize in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Tell
telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Okay, all right. Now, I am anticipating having to go downstairs in a couple of minutes to find my guest who's probably out there somewhere lost. And because I'm in the big secure building around here, you know, because when you're famous like I am around town, a lot of folks want to get at you. You know what I'm saying? I want to open up a can of whoop ass on me sometimes. And so I got the marshals and the FBI and everybody upstairs protecting me. So, you know, I got to go down there and let people in, sneak down there and let people in. I know they didn't know, you know, they didn't realize when I moved in this building, they were going to have extra work done for them just to take care of me. But that's okay. That's all right. I don't mind. I spend a little time taking care of them. So we good. 860-1440 is the number here. Whatever's on your mind. I'm waiting. My guest today is going to be. So what is his name again? Oh, let me see. His name again is well, anyway, he'll be up here. Smith is the name. He's running for House seat number 31. And if anybody sees Katie Britt out there, please tell her I'm looking for her. I've been looking for her for a long time. They keep ignoring me though. Good morning. Who's this? Mr. Ed, that guy sounds just like you. I'm just telling you. If that's not you, then we need to call the police and say somebody has stolen your identity. Wait, let me see if this, let me see if this is my guest. If this is my guest, all right, I'll be down right after this break. All right. Okay. Well, go ahead, Ed. Tell me what you got. I know, Ed, but I got coming. So what you got? Give me what you got.
What they say or do means nothing. What do you agree with that?
Depends on what you call love. I can't say that. I cannot say that. I cannot say that. It depends on what love is. Ed, if you insult me one more time, I'll never talk to you again. I read the Bible. I read the Bible all the time. And if everything in the Bible is as clear, wait a minute, if everything in the Bible is as clear as you seem to think it is, then why do we have 3,300 different factions of the same religion? No, I'm going with you. If it's so clear, but really, if it's so clear, why do we have 3,300 different members of the Christian nation? We still friends. We're always going to be friends, but we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. We don't have to agree. Again, we got 3,300 different facets of religious doctrines in Christendom. So if it was all, and then what is love? What is love? I don't know. Is it a feeling? Is it? I don't know what it is. It's I know we like to think we like to use that word a lot. You know, we do. We like to use that word, but as far as displaying it, I don't know. I fear God, and I try to do what He say most of the time. So I'm always coming up short in a couple of areas there, but I'm working on it. We'll be back.
This week
report is sponsored by Staples. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 5/28. Visit staples.com/signage for details. This is your sign to print big at Staples.
A dry start to the new work week. Temperatures up to 76 under a mix of sun and clouds. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, down to 54 degrees. Most of Tuesday will be dry, but we will be watching a strong system pushing in from the west. Showers and storms increasing coverage from the west first, later in the afternoon, and then it all pushes east, so everyone sees rain and storms. Tuesday evening, Tuesday night to Wednesday morning, and some of the storms could be strong to severe.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We started out with a bad accident on 231 northbound there in front of the Circle K. Multiple cars involved with that, with injuries, so avoid that area still a little while longer. Also, Mulberry and West 3rd Street, there's an accident with injury, and Haynes Ambulance on a medical call to Royal Creek Road. So keep your eyes open in that area. Get ready for spring at Midtown Plaza. Shop Shoe Carnival, Cato's, Cricket Wireless, Young America Insurance, and more. Midtown Plaza and Street off of I-85, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Blind and deaf, Helen Keller was an undisciplined child until teacher Ann Sullivan came into her life. Their relationship was immortalized in The Miracle Worker, and no one will ever forget how Sullivan taught Helen to communicate by spelling out words in her hand. Keller became a world-renowned author and lecturer and a global ambassador for the disabled. We salute the extraordinary Helen Keller.
Chico's Auto Pros. Show some love with our super savings on tires. Chico's Auto Pros.
You're like most Americans. You're pretty much in disbelief with what's going on in the world. As we all know, global problems have great consequences. Too many of them. As the peanut butter really hits the fan, are you ready to tell me grocery store supply chain only as strong as their weakest link?
Yeah,
you can break. Now it's the
well,
time
when you
to
can sit right here. When you
everyone in your family. Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 10
you look a lot younger in person.
storage. It'll be there when you need it.
I'm only 46. Okay. Only 46. I wish I could say that. But no, I'll be 65 and maybe living nothing happen.
Kits will ship quickly and discreetly to your door.
My son was in
food stores in your home.
2 weeks later, we got a phone call.
Hands
Your
down.
son has been
Go
beat
to
up at Fort
mypatriotsupply.com
We got
today.
5 kids.
Prepare for what's coming.
And we snatched all our kids out of the
mypatriotsupply.com.
medical system, moved over to Hopeful.
Wait a minute. Now don't tell me those kind of things happen in Millbrook. I mean, Millbrook, the
Preferred community
the preferred
next to-
community next to Prattville. Yeah, I mean, who you run against?
Troy Stubbs, he's the Elmore County Commissioner.
He already got a job.
My first time in politics. So
Well, good.
I'm learning the ropes.
Well, it is a. I think what people, one of the reasons why Trump did well. Now, I voted for Trump, but and if it's him and Biden again, that's the only two other thing I'm voting for Trump again. But people, we have a dichotomy. We want somebody that's like us, at least close to us as they could possibly get, but we really don't. We don't want somebody who have a bust you in the head or smack you down. We say we do. We don't really mean it. But we like to see it. But there comes a point we have to be a leader. And leaders persuade, not demand.
That's correct.
And Trump's a great boss, but it sucks as a leader.
He could get off tweeting for a little bit. He's done himself a lot of favors.
He could. He just, when you're the president of the United States, you get to walk in the big airplane, baby, Air Force One. And you sitting there fighting with idiots on Twitter. You are the man. I mean, they'll remember, as long as the United States exists, they'll remember Donald Trump. Me, 30 days after I'm gone, nobody remember anything. So why are you fighting with people of insignificance? Ego, and that's that New York, that New York arrogance too.
Casting pearls before swine.
Yeah, so I'm just. But if there's only two people at the end, and it's Trump and Biden, yeah.
Well, let me ask, you asked me why did I get involved? Why did you get involved in radio?
Okay. I talk to a lot of people every day that hell a lot smarter than I am. They pay a lot of money for their education. I'm getting it for free. So that's why. And plus, you get to talk to people and you learn things. And I like meeting people, whether it's on the radio or in person. I like meeting new people.
So how did you came from being a ranger, right?
Yeah.
How did you get from being a ranger to being a radio guy? Because you seem like the kind of guy that would. I do want to kick teeth in if I need to.
Yes, yeah. But because when I got here, then I went to computers, and so I don't know. It's a fun job. That's all. I like to talk. You're gonna talk, get paid for it. Okay, we are back. Now don't all right, I got a guest in. I got a guest in the studio with me right now. I'm gonna let him introduce himself so I don't mess up his. Of course, you really can't mess up the name Smith, but you know, who knows? So tell the folks who you are.
Good morning. I'm Chadwick Smith. I live in Deepsville, Alabama.
Okay, the preferred community up there.
Next to the preferred community.
Next to the preferred community. Tell us a little bit about you and what got you into politics and just your story.
Kevin, thank you for letting me be on the radio, first of all. But I was raised in Prattville. My dad worked at the paper mill, and that's where we grew up, right there in Prattville. And my wife and I have been married 27 years. We've got 5 children. And my son is at school, and he was actually attacked, sexually harassed while he was at school, and his life was threatened. And then 2 weeks later, he was physically beat up in the bathroom. He's a smaller kid.
Okay.
And at that moment, that's when I realized something inside of me galvanized and said, I've got to do something, even if it costs me my job, my family, fortune, whatever it might be. It's got to be, something's got to be done, and I've got to get involved at that level and do something. So hence why I got involved and started saying, hey, I'm going to stand up and I want to volunteer. This is my opportunity to do something. And I'm at the right age. I'm in the right place from an education standpoint, from an experience standpoint, and I want to do something about it.
Well, that sounds good. That's now you did say one thing that I really enjoy, people. You rarely ever hear this out of politicians. Regardless of what it costs me, I'm going to do, at least try my best to make a difference and do the right thing. See, that's what you don't really hear much from politicians. You know, everybody gets in, even if you don't get but one term, your name will be forever linked to the state of Alabama, what you did or what you didn't do. Okay, unlike this job, 30 days after you go, you will forget your name. You're 46 years old. Okay, you at the right age. You got experience. You got a little army behind you with your children. That's like almost enough for a baseball team.
That's what my brother-in-law said.
You need a couple more. But, let's talk about some of the issues.
Tell me.
And one of the big issues, of course, now, one of the issues is, do you support the prison expansion in the state of Alabama?
So that's one of the topics specifically that I commented on my webpage, chadwicksmith.com. Unlike most political web pages, I actually have like tons of issues like that out there, so you can get to know me a little bit, I hope.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know me yet. I'm a newcomer to politics, but specifically in regards to prison reform, I was watching, for instance, the other day, the legislative debate at the House. And there was a lot of debate specifically around people saying, hey, before we go in and build new prisons, we need to reform what we have. I have a similar thought process in that a lot of our prisons are in horrible shape. Number one, we have a federal requirement that's telling us we've got to do something. So absolutely, we have to build those prisons. One of the questions that came up and was argued on the House floor was, what are we going to do about the women's prison? We're talking about building these 2 men's prisons first. What are we going to do about the women's prison? Because it needs to be addressed. It's one of the oldest prisons in the state. You know that, right? And so our prison system is absolutely failing. We've got to do something, but we also have to do something with the recidivism rate. I've directly been involved.
Are we where? Let me ask you a question. Are we either as a culture and as a nation, as a city, as a county, are we directly or indirectly responsible for a lot of the people who go to prison?
Are we responsible for it as a state?
Right, as a culture, as a culture of America.
Well, that's different. Culture versus state are two different things. I would tell you this. I'm a student of the Founding Fathers. You studied the Founding Fathers. One of the things that they say.
Of course, it wasn't my father, but we're going to get to that some other time. But, all right.
That's okay.
We were like stepchildren.
I was from Germany. My family came from Germany.
Okay.
So what do you want to say?
Well, mine got a boat ride.
I understand.
Okay, he managed it. But I still rather be here than any place else.
I understand.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I believe we have to do, as the Founding Fathers said, a government without religion and morality is bound to fail.
But whose morality? Because those same people also believed in slavery. So morality is a
subjective term,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I do believe there are universal rights and universal wrongs that cross all lines. Absolutely. And so, but we won't get into those right now. I don't know if this is for you or not, but let's see if it's for you or me. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. That's you. Good morning. Yeah, I hear you.
Thank you. Good morning. I spoke specifically about the millage tax at Elmore County Commission that night. I actually went in and visited several of the school systems, and I talked with a bunch of the teachers. I talked with the administrators at those schools, and then I talked with a bunch of parents that were in the county and said, what do you think is going on with our school? I actually met with Richard Dennis. Superintendent Richard Dennis, Kevin? Actually, he gave me some opportunity to go and meet with him. We were supposed to speak for 30 minutes. We spoke for an hour and 45 minutes that day as he educated me on the foundation program and how school finances are done. Here's my concern. The school millage tax, as it was presented, was not a business plan. It was a PowerPoint presentation of here's some buildings we want to build, here's some lights that we want to put in. Whenever I went and did my own interviews of the school system, what I found was this. There is overcrowding in the classroom. And what do I mean by overcrowding in the classroom? There were over 20 students in most of those classrooms, and the building was at 100% capacity. They were going into book closets and putting kids in book closets to have additional room for those students. So we need more buildings to house the growth in Elmore County. Was that plan set up right to be able to address those issues? That's my question, and that's what I believe they're trying to do now. If you don't know what Elmore County's done, is they've come back and said, we're going to do a survey, and we're going to talk about what it is that we need to do with that millage tax increase. Because at that meeting that night in Elmore County, where they said, do we pass this on up the line to get voted on or not? What they came back and said is that we need a plan so that we can read it. We don't need to get the plan after we vote on it. So, yes, do we need to do something? We've got to do something with our school system.
Caller, what's your thought on that?
Hey, we got to do something about schools. There's no doubt. But it needs, in my opinion, needs to be transparent what we're doing. I think so often not seeing things that aren't transparent. So I think I like this guy. I think I can get behind it.
Okay. Hey, appreciate your call. There are a lot of issues. Lottery. Are you a proponent, or did you support a lottery separate and apart from casinos, or whatever you want to call them? Separate and apart, just a lottery that the average Joe can, because we are losing millions of dollars going across states, going surrounding states. I don't know about the casino thing, but a lottery, do you support that in principle?
Let me ask you this when I answer this question for you. Do you believe that as Americans we should have liberty to do with our money what we choose to do with it?
I totally believe it.
I believe it's okay. Am I personally for the lottery? No, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I don't play the lottery. I'm not interested in playing lottery. If other people do, I don't care. That's your money. You earn that money, you can do with it what you want. And so, am I a fan of the lottery personally? No. Do I believe the state of Alabama should vote on lottery? Absolutely. If the state of Alabama wants a lottery, then let's get a lottery. I believe lottery brings corruption with money. comes corruption, and people start to find bags of money in hallways and other things.
That sounds like voting.
So my point being is, I think we need to be careful. I think there needs to be a commission around it that makes sure that it's done properly and fairly. But I believe it needs to come up for a vote, yes. But I think it is ultimately tied to, do we believe in liberty or not? If you believe in liberty, my question is should the state control what you do with your money? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. You're familiar with the philosophy, with the philosophy of separation of church and state.
Yes.
Now, it's nowhere in the Constitution where that is. As a matter of fact, the First Amendment tells us that we have a right to religion, but we should not be coerced into doing it by government. Governor Ivey signed a piece of legislation a couple of years ago saying that we could put, if we wanted to, the 10 Commandments in our schools, in our public building. Now nobody's done it, and she hasn't really said much about it since she did it, but it is out there. Would you have if we did put up the 10 Commandments in our schools, just to remind people there's a higher law, like my good friend the judge did, which I'm all for it. Would you support that?
Yes, and let me tell you why. If you go back to the founding of our nation, you know what the first book was that was printed by our founding fathers that they commissioned out of Congress?
Tell me what the Bible. Really? Yes, and so this theory that our founding fathers were all deists, I mean, they didn't believe in a higher power and all that stuff, bunch of crap.
Many were deists.
But deist means that they believe in a higher power. They don't know exactly who it was, but they believed in something. 860-1440 is the number you want. I guess it's Chadwick Smith. He is running for House seat number 31, and I think that covers Elmore County and where else?
Primarily the rural parts of Elmore County. Everything but Wetumpka.
So you got cows to talk to and stuff like that. No people.
You got a big farm. I live on a big farm.
Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning.
Yes.
It's the female ballot.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Are you in favor of if someone like a judge, a lawyer, a police, or a doctor feel like a person is in crisis, let's go and lock them up and throw them involuntarily in a mental institution for people that commit a crime. How do you feel about that? And two, how do you feel about the fact that I was giving away God's money that He gave me to people, but the library refused to let me even put a flyer in their facility? Told me because I had God and the title, but God had gone that's not them. Because I had God and the title actually to write a testimony about what God had did to me. They refused to let me even put it in there. Okay, what do you feel about those two things?
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Good morning. The first question you had was, should we lock people up for mental illness? Is essentially what you were asking. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't think you should.
What if they're really crazy?
No, that's a whole other issue. If they are endangering themselves or endangering someone else, then we have to get law enforcement involved. I think we have to do something at that point. Mental illness is one of the 5 key things I think that are broken in our nation right now, in Alabama specifically, and we've got to do something about mental illness issues because it affects not only themselves, but it affects the people around them as well.
But one of the bills that came up she's concerned about is that they were pretty much going to try to put you in jail because they were afraid that you may do something. You know, if you right, and I'm not. Yeah, that's certainly un-American. I mean, if the whole community figures you crazy, okay, maybe so. But I don't think we just put you in jail because you may do something unless it's absolutely obvious and conspicuous that you are a danger to yourself and others.
Absolutely, we should not be putting people in jail for that. That is absolutely un-American. It is prejudging people. Our history should teach us not to do that. That is absolutely something we should not do. On your second comment about the library, that's a shame. That's an absolute crying shame that somebody would say, you can't put this up here because of this. If you go today to the Supreme Court of the United States of America, a public building, and you walk through those double doors and turn around and look up at the top, guess what you see, Miss Lewis?
You will see the Ten Commandments.
You will see the Ten Commandments. To wrap it back, right back around. So
but they say that it's up there with other aspects and other religions. So that we don't just have the Ten Commandments up there. We got evidence. We got a little this, a little that, all mixed together, and it's just thrown in there with everybody else. I'm not sure. I've been by there, but I never thought enough about going in there because them laws are made. They didn't include it, brother. But that's okay. I'm just gonna keep on moving up. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Greg, Mr. Smith. One of your roles would be to make sure we have a good business climate in Alabama. My question is, what do you believe the biggest threat to Alabama's justice system marketplace is going to be, and how would you address it?
Thank you for the question. The biggest threat to Alabama in the marketplace today is us having a trained workforce as well. We are not training our children, and we're not training our workforce to adapt to what is coming. We have got to be ready through our community college system, through our training systems inside. It's called ECTC in Elmore County, where we actually train students. One of my sons is actually involved in that. He's going through electrician school right now. He doesn't know if he wants to be an electrician, but he's getting his feet wet and figuring out, hey man, is this something I really want to do? So workforce is absolutely something we have to be able to do. We have to attract business into Alabama, and part of that comes through education and workforce as well. If you don't have the right people to fill the job, why as a businessman am I going to risk the profitability of coming to a place where people don't want to come to work? I think we have to encourage remote as well. There are a lot of people that don't want to come to work to Alabama because of other markets. And we need to be able to open up doors, for instance, in state government and say, if you want to come and work for state government and you want to work remotely, then that is absolutely a possibility that we have for you to be able to do and attract that into our state. So those are just some basic examples of ways I think that we can encourage new business in Alabama. We got to do something about the tax code too.
Did it with caller?
That's all right. Just tell him to be careful for this child getting his feet wet with electricity.
Oh, that's true. That is so true. Good morning on there with Chadwick Smith.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good morning.
Yeah, yes. I know Ms. Lewis called about the mental illness thing, and you responded saying that no one should be locked up or taken off the street without recognition. I like to disagree with that because I've got mental illness in my family, and I talk some things that I want to talk about, but when they go to an episode or whatever, they're out of their mind. So in today's society, everybody believes in shooting people first. Okay, even the police people in a place because they feel they're threatened in some kind of way. So I don't understand why they say Alabama shut down the mental institution, because there are a lot of people walking around all over the city of Montgomery that need to be some kind of facility.
Well, let's be clear. I didn't say they shouldn't be locked up. If somebody is a threat to other people or a threat to themselves, I think absolutely law enforcement should be involved and decisions should be made. And the mental health institutions have not been shut down in the state of Alabama. There are not as many as there were. And there's actually some things that are being done to look at building some additional mental health institutions through the Department of Mental Health up the street here from Commerce. But I absolutely believe if somebody is a threat to somebody else, they absolutely should be locked up. I completely get your stance there, sir. I mean, if you know they are a threat, we need to do something.
Right, because the gentleman approached me on Saturday, actually, and he was walking inside the car, and I'm trying to pull out the parking lot. He's just talking all out of his mind, and, some people are not patient with those kind of people, so they don't understand them. So, the young cat nowadays, they put a gun around and shoot you, and that's question later nowadays. So, we got to be careful on, stuff like that. And they did shut down a lot of the major institutions in the state of Alabama, and a lot of times people have to wait for a location of them. There's a young gentleman that killed a guy last year back in my hometown, down in South Alabama, because they moved so slowly on getting him some help.
All right. I appreciate your call. Often it is said by many politicians, and since you are in the political realm right now, you're using some of the same verbiage. Traditional values. Explain to me what you mean when you say that, because a lot of things just because they're traditional don't make them right.
Agreed.
So what do you mean when you say traditional values?
Whenever I think about traditional values, I think about what our nation was founded on.
We may not want to go there.
Truth, justice. Those are the kind of values that we need to look at. You see too many things happening in, for instance, the court system where you say, why did that happen? And why did he get away with it and the other person didn't? That makes no sense at all. Traditional values of hard work. You need to get up and earn your living in the morning. You don't need to stick your hand out expecting somebody to give you something. You need to get to work, like my daddy taught me. When I was 16 years old, I told Commissioner, he's the Commissioner of Agriculture and Industry today, Rick Pate. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. That's your dad?
No. I went to work. My dad said at 15 years old, my dad said, you need to go and get a job with Rick Pate digging ditches. And I talked to Rick Pate. Rick Pate was in the landscaping business, and he was digging sprinkler systems. And I went and got a job. I dug over here at the iTech facility. You know where that's at in Montgomery?
On Carmichael.
I did. I dug some of the ditches over there for that place to have a sprinkler system. I saw Mr. Pate the other night at one of the political events, and I shook his hand. I said, Mr. Pate, I know you don't know me. I know you don't remember me, but I got a paycheck for one day from you, and I never came and got it because I had to wake up that morning. I had to go to work, and I found out real quick like what it meant to work hard, and I knew what I needed to do. Those are the kind of traditional values where we need to have people that say, you know what, I'm going to get up and go to work, and I'm not going to expect somebody to hand something to me on a plate.
Okay. The one thing I love about this job is that we get to talk to all kinds of people about all kinds of things, and some of those things. Well, let me digress. You know what a platitude is?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Most politicians, and you used a couple so far, give us a bunch of platitudes. Those things that you just can't disagree. We need a good education. Who's going to say we don't? Okay. We need to believe in God. Well, if you're a realistic person, who's going to say we don't? But here's my problem. I got a friend of mine who always says that most politicians don't ever say anything outside the normal things that people say. We need a good education. We got to fight crime. Okay, we got that part. What are you prepared to suggest that's innovative, that takes us outside the normal realm of local politics? Give me something that I haven't heard before.
Okay, good. So I live on a small farm. I actually have a guy that is a friend of mine that farms there while I do all the high-tech stuff I do over in the barn that I live in. I believe that what we have to do, for instance, in healthcare, is one way we can improve our healthcare system is encourage people to eat healthy. And you say, well, is government going to be involved in how I eat? No. What I'm saying is we need to look at what I proposed at ChadwickSmith.com. You can look at a video I actually shot of this near my honeybee hives. I believe that if we grow something in Alabama, like honey, or we produce meat, or we grow fish, whatever it might be, that if we sell those in our local grocery stores, we need to do away with the taxes on those if they're not processed foods. So why is that important? Because one of the greatest problems we have in Alabama is obesity from a healthcare standpoint. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And one of the things that we do, or that we could do, is that we could put no tax on that food in the grocery store if it was grown in Alabama and we processed it in Alabama. The benefit of that is our farmers get a benefit, and we get a benefit at the grocery store to eat healthier food because we're not eating processed complex sugars, other things like that with preservatives and other things in it. I think that's something practical. And even the State House right now has a bill that's coming before them to talk about, I can't remember what they call it specifically, but they're saying, for instance, if a farmer raises peaches and they don't process that, and they process those peaches, they can sell the jellies as well for no tax on that.
If we do it, and every year the legislature gets in session, there's a manipulative process that tries to manipulate us poor citizens. Oh, we're not going to pay any tax on food. Well, right on, yeah, get them. Well, that's a bunch of hollycock, because the government has never given up money that it collects. Okay, so if they do away with the tax on food,
not on all food.
Well, whatever they do away with tax on, we're not going to do away with the tax. We're going to put the tax someplace else.
And here's my point to that issue. We need to quit being a bill mill up the road and manufacturing bills, and we need to learn how to repeal more bills up the road. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we sit up there and think the way that I leave a legacy whenever I'm going to only run 2 terms is how many bills I put my name on. I'd much rather my name be associated with how many bills I take out.
Now that is innovative, because I've often said that there are enough bills right now. If they never made another one, everybody in Alabama could go to jail the same day, because there are enough bills. We have all broken some law. By the time we left home, by the time we get to work, we have broken some law.
Do you know how many pages are in the Federal Register at this point?
No.
Over 2,000. It's ridiculous how much it takes.
All right, we'll come back. Chadwick Smith is running for seat number 31, which is Elmore County. Okay. I got something to ask you about Elmore County when we go to this break here, because can't say this publicly. We'll check that out in a second. We'll be back. Now,
Are you a safe driver?
Yeah, let's go ahead and
save money? Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. And Allstate Better Protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
A dry start to the new work week, temperature 76 under a mix of sun and clouds. For tonight, hopefully mostly cloudy down to 54 degrees. Most of Tuesday,
that's what I don't want to say. But they swore to me.
From the west, showers and storms increasing coverage from the west first, later in the afternoon, and then it all pushes east.
Well, if you don't know, then nobody knows. Okay, let's get it. I said to me either, but well, but I guess federal is different from the city, I guess.
I hate that warning. He said, "You going on Kevin's show?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "He's going to ask you about platitudes." I said, "Well, I hope he does."
Yeah. Because that's all most people come with. Well, education. Everybody knows about education. We all want it. Nobody's going to say, "Yeah, give us a worse education." Police. We all know how to handle. We know that. But you're the only person ever came and said we need to get rid of something. We do.
Oh, it's
it's crazy.
Constitution needs to be rewritten. Our state constitution.
Well, the problem with the state, right? It is so, but that is so problematic because minute you open it up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's
like Article 13.
Yeah, it just let's not add nothing else to it. But you're right. We do is make laws down it. Law. But I do believe we could go in prison for too longer time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I got
stupid stuff too,
and I just don't understand that. I mean, the guy sell a little marijuana, so what? As long as he's selling to somebody who's 18 years old or older, I'm good. I don't care what you sell. Because cigarettes give you cancer, and you die, and the state sells them. But marijuana, there's never been anybody who said that I robbed a bank high on marijuana. Nobody. Because everybody That's right. We need more people.
I ain't gonna say that. I mean, come on, Kevin.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't smoke it. I never have, but it puts you to sleep. It mellows you out. You don't go robbing banks and stuff. I think that'll treat it like alcohol. Okay, if you're driving while under the influence, you need to pay attention. That's right. Okay, I knew that.
Somebody warned me whenever I read it up. They said, "You got a ton of issues on here you're addressing." They said, "You need to tell," it was platitudes. "You need to tell us what you're going to do about that issue, not just talk about it."
Exactly, and that's the issue. That most because most people decide to run for office. I figure it out when I get there. Okay.
I've been studying. Do you know who Thomas Sowell is?
Yeah. Didn't Thomas Sowell die? Him and Williams, Walter Williams were good friends, and maybe it was Walter Williams that died. But Thomas Sowell is like a high libertarian of sorts.
Somewhat, but he's a free market economist.
Well,
and that's what he really hangs his hat on.
But here's the problem about economic theory. Nobody ever goes back and tell you that crap didn't work. Okay?
Did it work?
there was a professor at Auburn named Kayvon Darabi.
I don't know.
Yeah, but we talk about this stuff, but by the time you're so damn poor because it didn't work, you forget who told you was. You know, I'm still poor. I mean, it's theory. Like what one of the greatest economic theories, supply and demand.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bunch of crap because if I'm the guy with the supply, I determine the demand.
That's how oil cartels work.
Okay. So supply and demand means whoever gets it first got it. That's rather good.
Well, they might not have the money to get it, but before.
That's why Caleb Copeland hosts Tactics on the News Radio 1440 Facebook page. And you, debate finalist and minister, Caleb uses simple reason to make solid arguments and teaches you how to do the same. Watch the Tactics podcast Monday through Thursdays at 6 p.m. online, or listen to the Best Of show Saturday mornings at 9 on News Radio 1440. Depend on it. He is the voice of the conservative millennial, the Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And we are back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a series of questions here that may sound strange, but they'll tell us a lot about you.
Okay, so we're going to speed date.
Yeah.
So we're speed date.
Yeah, that's right. So, what's the dumbest thing you ever done?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Jumped off Chimney Rock. No, I bungee jumped off a crane in Florida one time, 18 stories.
Paratrooper because of that.
I've never been told that.
Yeah, I'll give you honorary paratrooper for that.
I want some of them.
What's the worst mistake you've ever made?
Oh, I made some bad investments.
Yeah, okay, we all have. Oh, that's it. That's just a bad investment.
The worst mistake I've ever made. Financially, bad investment. As a kid, my dad told me, my dad had a workshop. My dad's just country, man. And my dad had a workshop, and he said, that volleyball net. And I went to drill press a volleyball net. When I went to drill press that volleyball net to drill a hole in it, it left a shard on the other side. You know how when you press through metal?
No.
And when you press through metal with a drill, what ends up happening is it spins out metal on one side. And I went to grab that volleyball net pole, and you see the slice in my hand. It's the dumbest mistake I've ever made. It's like, man, you're an idiot. What are you doing?
So you haven't really had a hard life at all.
Oh, I've had a difficult. I've done bad mistakes.
If that's the worst thing you've ever did, I mean, that's
well, we're not on the Dr. Phil show. I don't have to tell you all the little things. Well, come on, Kel. I thought we were on talk radio.
But it gives us an in-depth look into your personality. Give me a time where you could have gave up, but you didn't.
I preach occasionally.
Okay.
And I preach some bad sermons sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard some of them before.
But what I decided to do is dig in deeper. I've actually learned, I've studied Hebrew on my own. And so I went in and learned how to read. I can't speak it fluently at all, but I learned how to read. And that's one thing that I'm absolutely captivated by, and that motivated me to dig deeper because of my faith there. That was a big deal. I teach every Monday night a Bible study in Millbrook. I want to be a good student of the Word because I feel like I'm going to ultimately help responsible for it too.
You know, I got to tell you one thing though. All the politicians that we get a chance to talk to, I mean, the churches ought to be full on Sunday because everybody teaches Sunday school, or they preach on the side. I mean, every politician that comes up here is a preacher or they're Sunday school teacher.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, okay, no, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, but if that many people, and then somehow when they get down to the house down there, they forget the things that they say. Death penalty. Should we do away with it?
I don't believe we should.
Wait a minute, you can't be a Christian and not believe we should do away with it.
So you believe we're pacifists?
No, but I believe thou should not kill pretty much covers that one. I didn't say murder. I said I mean, I know murder and kill is different, but
you think we ought to fund somebody sitting in jail for the rest of their life?
Costs us more money to kill them than it does to fund them.
Really?
Yes. If you look at the cost.
I'd be interested in seeing that. Never studied.
And here's the problem with the death penalty. if you can guarantee me without a shadow of doubt with one scintilla that you didn't make a mistake, I'm all for it. But we cannot guarantee that. Often people, I know John Knight, who was on the thing for a while, in house for a while, a guy named McMillan, and my good friend Mark Montiel signed the order saying to release this guy because he's on death row for 20 years, I believe. And finally, somebody listened to him and it was out. So if you cannot convince me, guarantee me we didn't make a decision. We can always let people out of jail. We can't let them out of a grave.
Understood that. Okay. I don't disagree with you there at all. But there are consequences.
Again, those consequences sometimes have been misled and been so right. So why should we take a chance on killing innocent people when all we do is leave in jail for them?
I don't think I ever said take a chance, but if you know without a shadow of a doubt,
but
just said it yourself.
Right, but you don't know. But here's the problem. You don't know.
Pulled the trigger on somebody.
Unless you got a tape of it.
Come on.
I mean, you don't.
If you got a crowd of people standing around and somebody shot another person and you know that he was the killer, I mean, come on.
And again, lock them up, because basically what we're doing, we're saying, well, if Joe thought about death was the appropriate punishment for what a guy did to him, then what makes the state of Alabama any better thinking death is appropriate for what he did to them? It's the same principle.
I believe there are consequences for action.
There sure are.
In the state, and there has to be consequences.
Then what's the consequence? What's the consequence for the state for doing the wrong one? For killing somebody wrong?
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, there is no consequence. The state has to pay for it.
So you don't think that we should just do away with the death penalty? Okay. Well, stick to your guns. I don't agree with you.
That's fine.
Good morning on there. Good morning. Mm-hmm.
Our history has shown that our justice system can be unfair to some people, and can be biased. So I'm going to agree with you today, Kevin. The death penalty should be gone. We should not have that anymore because our justice system is flawed, and that's the first thing that you have to.
You will agree that our justice system is flawed.
There are flaws, absolutely.
And you're willing to take a chance on somebody's life?
Not if the chance is not if we know that they killed someone. Is that a chance?
We never know that. Look at how many people
we let a lot of people out of prison because we thought we knew that they did it.
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Think about the ones that we still have in there.
Me, I'm for it paddling. I believe in taking a big old paddle like in school and whoop that butt on Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon at the baseball team. And for minor crimes, other crimes, let them just stay in prison forever. At least that gives us an opportunity to get them out. Than one innocent, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Appreciate it. You got the last. Tell us why we should. Well, I'll take one more call and give you the last minute to tell folks why they should vote for Chadwick Smith. Good morning, you're on air. Good morning. Well, now I can't speak for God. Well, man wrote those words, and we don't really know if some of them are true. Well, that's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. I'm not sure.
Have you ever read Romans 13?
I'm pretty sure I have. I pretty much read the whole Bible through.
Okay, so what is Romans 13 good?
Since I'm not a preacher, I don't try to memorize them, brother. Yeah. But again, I don't memorize all things. Yeah.
Well, maybe you should. Romans 13.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about the government who carries the sword
Mm-hmm.
in vain.
Okay.
Those that do evil. So when God says
Hey, we got to carry this on the other side because I got to. You call me back because I'm gonna give you the last word and tell folks you got about a minute to tell folks why they should vote for you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Chadwick Smith. Go to chadwicksmith.com. You can see all the issues that I've talked about. You can see the videos that I've had put up. I believe that we are a nation that is falling into depravity in many ways because of not just our government, because of the people that make up our nation. We need to be involved in government. I've chosen to be involved in government because I want to make a difference, and I believe I can make a difference. My family has lived here for 6 generations. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to be in Alabama to make a difference for my family.
We'll be back. Thank you.
WSFA News.
All right, well, if you win, don't forget to come back.
I will.
The politicians have this thing about when they win, they forget about it.
They forget about everybody. You don't pay attention.
Well, that was a great conversation. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that.
Call me Cat. Nice to meet you, Cat.
I'll call you son. You say goodbye.
The Church of Montgomery is working to provide relief to the people of Ukraine. The Del Rey Church of Christ church members and volunteers loaded up more than 240 buckets of supplies and basic necessities. Goods will be sent to countries like Poland for Ukrainian refugees. The odds of Alabama getting a lottery are getting better. There are now 4 different pieces of gambling legislation at the State House. These bills are strictly for a state lottery. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of the Dan Bongino Show. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. Heartbreaking stories out of Mariupol, the port city that has been under constant attack since the invasion began. Here's CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
The doctor here says a 6-year-old boy was shot on his head, described without any emotion how his mother burned to death in their car after it was hit. He said to his dad, "Buy me a new mom. I want someone to walk me to school."
At a church in Lviv,
Father Pavlo Dradstik is a priest here.
My heart is broken. I cry all the time because I can't understand why. What the reason that I know that I need to be strong and I need to help the people.
a shopping center in Kyiv has been shelled, killing at least 8 people. The city putting a new curfew in place.
I'm Wendy Gillette along Poland's border with Ukraine. Miami resident Oksana Smakowska flew into Warsaw and headed straight to the border to pick up her parents, who live in central Ukraine, about 180 miles south of Kyiv.
At this point, it became more and more dangerous. They're bombing all of the cities around our city, so we decided to take a trip.
How stressful has this been for you?
Extremely stressful since the beginning of war. Not a single Ukrainian, I think, can sleep or eat or do any daily chores.
Her future plan is unclear. Stay in Poland for a month or two, and then maybe bring her parents to Germany, where friends have a home, or fly them to the U.S., if allowed. In eastern Poland, along the Ukrainian border, Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Confirmation hearings begin at 11 this morning for Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. It confirmed she would be the first Black woman to sit on the nation's highest court. A Chinese passenger plane has crashed in the southern province of Guangxi. Our Vicky Barker with details.
Phone footage shared by Chinese state media shows a pillar of smoke rising from the wooded mountainside where the plane went down. The Boeing 737 apparently started having problems about an hour into its flight, then went into a steep dive.
There were 132 people on board. Will there be a Cinderella story for some peacocks during March Madness? Here's CBS's Dana Jacobson.
The story of the tournament so far has been a tiny New Jersey Jesuit school that continues to beat the odds. The St. Peter's Peacocks shocked 7-seed Murray State to become just the third 15 seed to reach the regional semifinals of the Big Dance.
And the next stop, Philadelphia, where they play third-seeded Purdue in the Sweet 16.
Go Peacocks, love an underdog story. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now. Call 800-711-6818 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-711-6818 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-711-6818 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on this little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-711-6818 now. That's 800-711-6818.
Truckers protesting in D.C. this weekend were a bit ticked at this guy.
A bicyclist managed to cut off and significantly slow down the People's Convoy this weekend in Washington, D.C. The group of truckers weren't happy and blared their horns to push him out of the way, but the biker was unbothered. Videos of the guy slowly riding in front of the line of semis are all over social media. The truckers have been protesting COVID vaccines and mandates, even though D.C. and most of the country has already lifted restrictions. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
Imagine a world without tweeting. No, not that kind of tweeting. On this day in 2006, people began tweeting, and Twitter gave you a platform to tell the world your thoughts in 140 characters or less. That's doubled now. You get 280. It's become so popular, there are more than 1.3 billion Twitter accounts. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
The city of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit montgomeryal.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community.
In Alabama, we know a strong U.S. military keeps us safe and supports hundreds of thousands of good Alabama jobs. But Mo Brooks' bad judgment puts us all at risk. Mo didn't stand up for our troops, voting with Nancy Pelosi and Democrats, and against every other Alabama Republican to cut off funding to destroy ISIS terrorists in the middle of the fight. And Mo is so weak, he even said voters faced a tough choice between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Just before the 2016 election, Mo Brooks said voters had to pick whether Trump or Hillary was, quote, the lesser of the two evils. Mo Brooks voted with the Democrats, against our military, and against supporting good Alabama jobs. Was wrong on Trump, and dangerously wrong for Alabama. Alabama's Future paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Alabama'sFuturePAC.com.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Oh. Okay, we are back. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had fun with that interview there. I actually like the guy. Actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, everybody's got platitude. That's cool. You know, we understand how the game is played, but I liked him. He's a good guy. Anyway, he didn't change his mind on death penalty. I just don't think we should employ it. But again, guarantee me that guarantee me that you don't kill innocent people. Sometimes I'm all for it, but I don't believe that. I think if man's involved in it, there can be mistakes that are made. But good morning, and good morning again. Now, man, I did a lot of studying yesterday. I had a lot of things to talk about today. Where's Bud at? Bud. Okay. See, Bud reminds me often of Mr. Ed. Where is Bud? Oh, Bud. Okay, I got to find him because I think he was wrong, a little wrong there. It's not that I do not believe the Bible, but I don't believe all the translations that I get. I'm just sorry, I don't. If it was so clear and succinct, why do we have 3,300 different species in Christendom of what the Bible says? Of the doctrines. I mean, I think it's a relationship between you and God, and y'all got to get together. I mean, you don't have to get together. You got to talk to him yourself and figure out what is and what isn't. At least that's the way I look at it anyway. Now, yes, I was in church yesterday. I had a good sermon yesterday. Now, some of that I didn't agree. Okay, like yesterday. There was a Pastor Sean yesterday was talking about let's see, there's two women because I can't ever think of these people's names. One was cooking, and the other was fixing dinner. One was cooking, and the other was keeping Jesus Christ company. He was visiting. Anyway, I'll get to that later on. And he interpreted one way, and I interpreted a different way. Okay, well, anyway, that's just me though. We'll get into that. I mean, I'm not a scholar by any means when it comes to the Bible, but God did give me a little common sense, so I try to use it when I can. Although common sense won't get you to understand everything, but I think it sure gets you in the way of understanding most of it. Okay? 860-1440 is our number. You want to give us a call up, talk to whichever you might put. I got a lot of things I want to talk about today too. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah. See, I think you are somewhat so what's the word I'm looking for here? Stubborn that you refuse to. See, it is not God's word that I wonder about. I wonder about man's interpretation of that word. And to tell me that they've got it 100% right all the time, I'm not going to believe that.
I didn't say that 100% right. I said what God has written in his word is true.
But God didn't write that word. God didn't write that word. He gave it to men. Yeah, God gave us the laws, but man wrote the word. Matter of fact, there's only one time that I remember Jesus Christ writing anything in the Bible, and that's when he was at the well and he wrote in the dirt told the guy he was the first sin, cast the first stone. Other than that, man wrote those words. Oh well, no way was it. I don't know when they put it in there, but. Wait a minute. Was it not in there or not? Wait a minute. Is it in there or not? Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if any of it's true. Yeah. Well, right. Neither is that God helped them or help themselves. There are plenty of things we say. A lot of people tell. Yeah. That's Old Testament. That's Old Testament.
You understand that was not given to individuals. That was given to the government of Israel. To the government of Israel. In fact, in the Old Testament, sanctuary cities were created throughout Israel. So if somebody died, then the person that killed them
Mhm.
would go into the sanctuary city and to keep them from being killed by the closest family relative of the person that was killed. It was still in the Old Testament left up to the government of Israel to have a trial, an exact judgment, if the government of Israel said trial was warranted.
Okay, right. Can you tell me exactly in the Bible where it says that? Is that a doctrine?
Leviticus, Exodus. You understand doctrines?
Doctrine is what you teach.
Doctrines and dogmas are created from the truth in the Bible.
Well, okay.
You can go to Exodus. You can go to Leviticus, and that is all through the Old Testament.
Okay.
Okay, it is in there. First of all, second thing, but it's also in the New Testament. Romans 13. Let every person be subject to the governing authority, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists authorities resists what God has appointed.
Hey, let me ask you, who wrote that? What book is that? What book is that?
Romans, I just told you.
I know. Who wrote it? Which one? Which man wrote that? Okay. I just asked a question. 90 days you're insulting my intelligence. I got a little bit of it. But inspire and let me ask something. How do we absolutely know that every word was inspired by God?
If it was not inspired by God, it's not truthful.
And how do you know everything that was truthful?
2,000 years of Roman Catholic and Protestant history.
Well,
Who are you, oh man?
listen.
Say God's word
Not
true after 2,000 years.
Wait a minute. Man has been wrong about something for more than 2,000 years.
Do you understand we have the manuscripts written as late
Okay.
100 AD? How do you understand we have 8,000 manuscripts?
Hey, I'm just.
in the New Testament?
And then they have been interpreted from the original language, right? Which we know for an absolute fact that a lot of words that we have translated from Hebrew to English is not correct.
Well, first of all, the New Testament is not written in Hebrew; it's written in Koine.
But those manuscripts.
You understand that we also have the Greek. So it'd be one thing if it was Hebrew 2,000 years ago. But this is in Koine Greek. This is the languages where we get what the Roman emperors did. This is what historical evidence is based on. It's not reaching back into the dim pages of history.
Well, it is historic.
What baffles me about you is that you are willing to substitute your own personal opinion on what 2,000 years of the history of the church has said.
And do you believe that the church has always been right? Wait a minute. Wasn't there a thing called crusades? That they went out. Wait. They used that same Bible to go out and massacre people.
Nobody said what they did was right.
Oh.
What they said was it was misapplied.
Oh. Okay.
Interpretation and misapplication.
Oh, okay.
You are trying to misinterpret.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you that.
13 also said that the government does not bear the sword in vain.
Okay.
You know what that means? That means they understood the government had the authority to cut your head off.
And show me in the Bible where it says that.
Romans 13.
Where it says where it says the government has a right to cut your head off.
Romans 13. Can you not read? Hang up and read Romans 13.
Wait. Tell me where it says the government has a right to cut your head off.
It says it bears the sword, it does not bear it in vain. You're trying to say, cut my head off. You do not understand, you have to interpret it in the way.
Oh, so whose interpretation do we go? Then whose interpretation do we go by? Yours? Theirs? What? No, I think that God wants us to be. Oh, hey, I got to tell you. Hey, we got to do this again later on. Got to go to. I don't want to get into that conversation. Got to go to my great friends up there on top of the mountain in Wetumpka. John Williams of Mortgage Corporation of the South. Good morning. I'm doing pretty good.
I know this much. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. I got out and did some yard work. We had two, in my opinion, beautiful days to get outside and enjoy. So I hope your listeners got a chance to get out there and enjoy it, whether they're doing yard work or going to the rodeo or whatever they do. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I want to talk about Mortgage Corporation of the South. We are a full-service mortgage and loan center. And we've been in business over 27 years. So we're working on our 28th year. Before we blink our eyes, it's going to be 3 decades. It's going to be 30 years before we realize it. And, here's what we do. We've only gotten better with time. And we're, like I said, a full-service mortgage and loan center. Now, what does that mean? A full service. Well, you have mortgage companies and you have loan companies. Well, we do both. We lend money on real estate. That can be your home, your land, and we also make equity loans on automobiles. So if you want to buy a home or refinance the one you have now, whether you're looking for a lower interest rate, rates are still good. They're still good. They're still low. Not historic lows, but they're certainly a whole lot lower than they were when I was growing up. The rates are good, and you can refinance your home for a lot of different reasons. But a lot of people are getting cash out. You can borrow the money that you need, pay off your bills and that sort of thing, and just have one payment on your home. Sometimes people pay off credit cards, they pay off student loans, they pay off like car payments that they have lingering around. We've had people pay off title pawns. I mean, you name it, the list goes on. And sometimes people need the money for medical collections or medical bills. I mean, the choice is yours, folks. Whatever you need, you want to refinance your home and get cash out. It just makes sense. And debt consolidation, that's a great thing, especially with the rates so low right now. It's just a big savings monthly. And also, too, if you have less than perfect credit, I was talking to someone the other day that got themselves into a title pawn. And they borrowed $7,000 and they were paying over $1,000 a month every month, and none of that money went to principal. None of it. You heard me right. None of it. So we're able to help them and pay off their title pawn. We do that. So if you have a vehicle, it's a 2014 or newer in good shape, then there's a good chance we make you a loan on your vehicle. Even if you've had a bankruptcy or foreclosure, repossession, it matters not. We have programs for folks who have great credit, and we have programs for folks who have less than perfect credit. So again, if your home is paid for or almost paid for, you need a loan on it, and your credit's less than perfect, well, we're just a phone call away, and the same thing applies to your automobile. So just remember this, the next time you need a loan to buy a home or refinance one, or even a loan on your automobile, we're just a phone call away. Mortgage Corporation South, the Mortgage and Loan Center, on top of the mountain in Wetumpka. Remember this slogan, we kind of like it. Make your next move your best move. Call MCS. NMLS number is 232876. We are an equal housing lender. Mr. Kevin, tell everybody how to get in contact with us, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your Monday.
Hey, you too, John. As a matter of fact, I'm talking about making your best move. Well, a way to get started is 567-9000. That's 334-567-9000. And I guarantee you, somebody will answer the phone live and in person. You won't hear that little beep when you call, let you know that some guy from overseas is talking to you. They right here in Wetumpka.
That's so true. Well said, Kevin. As you always say, that is a real live phone.
Real life. You don't text it. Let's talk. All right. Appreciate it, John. Mortgage Corporation of the South on top of the mountain in Wetumpka. Good morning. 567-9000 again is the number. Okay, take one more call, then I'll go to my first break. Good morning. Good morning.
Since you guys on 13, also they tell y'all to pay the tax.
Oh, well.
In that same book, it tells you the authority to do taxes is in the budget as well. So pay your taxes, quit complaining about these taxes.
Okay. I mean, we really don't have a whole lot of choice about that one. Mm-hmm.
So they don't want us. They didn't want people to complain about what them people did, like you talking about when they found the father, somebody leaving their book. Okay, here to see you let slavery go throughout the country. Same thing in that book is take your taxes because the government got that same authority that the government been talking about to operate in this as killing people.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. Pay your taxes. All right. Appreciate it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back after this. Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Okay, it's 8:29 in the morning. Let me go back to the phone. I've been waiting here for a minute here, so let's go back to there. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. I truly did. What kids, and yeah, it got my attention. But I don't. What in the hell has happened to this generation? I don't know where did this proliferation of shooting people come from. I don't know. Oh hell. That no. Okay, I get it. All right. Really? Okay, and it's called Hoodnick? And I think 11 kids, I think 11 of them were children. Guess it didn't help anybody. Yeah. And if he knew how to use it, and then didn't shoot himself pulling it out, that's true. But the problem is, they don't require on this bill. I don't believe we require anybody to show that they've had training. Yeah. Well, that's a possibility. Of course, we'll never know, but that is a possibility. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, just for you guys haven't heard about that. I mean, a bunch of never mind. Everybody's heard about Hoodnick. Woo! What has happened to this generation of young folks today? I think 40 and under, man, you guys, y'all need to talk to your people out there or something. I mean, just killing and shooting, and what is going on? Okay, and yet still, we won't paddle you in school today because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Okay, then. 860-1440. There's a QB Ray did a thing on Facebook about this new park that the mayor came up with. Evidently, they're going to tear down some homes. They're going to tear down some homes over there and do their thing. This is not going to be a full-fledged park. But Mr. Mayor, now I realize that you guys don't think much of the Park and Recreation Board because we weren't even invited to this event. I mean, nobody's standing back there in front of Park and Recreation Board. So we weren't invited. So we realized that we're insignificant. But don't we have enough parks in the city of Montgomery already? I mean, seriously, don't we have enough? We even got parks that actually that's in the backyard of citizens in Montgomery. And this is not going to be a full-fledged park. It's going to be called a approximate. It's going to approximate a park, but not really. But what still disturbs me that Mr. Carr and all the cars and all these people didn't have enough courtesy to let the members of the Parks and Recreation Board know that it was going to happen. And I don't give a crap who gets angry down there on Goat Hill or on City Hall. If you're going to have boards, then have boards for. If you don't want to use them, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Don't have them. Okay, that way you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to take any advice from anybody. Maybe if you guys would have had the board, then you'd have found that one of our members' child lives over there, and maybe we could have found someplace else to put it. I'm just saying that, it's just kind of crazy. If you got bored, okay? So may have slapped me upside the head on this one, because this doesn't make any sense. You're gonna put another park, you got a park and recreation board, you put a park in a place, tear the house, where one of our members has a child living in that area, and we're gonna tear the house down. I'm just, had we had this conversation in the privacy of our meeting place, then you would have known these things. But the mayor has a tendency to go roughshod by itself without advice or counsel from anybody else most of the time. I don't quite get it. I just don't. If you don't want the boards, if we're insignificant, if we don't mean anything, we just waste your, then get rid of them. But the board is a law. We're part of the law of Montgomery. So evidently, somebody thought that it was necessary. It was a necessary entity. Okay. So to the city council members, to all you folks, I mean, this, if you're not, why put people on boards if in fact you don't plan to use them? There are a few boards right here. They got a little power. They got things. They can mess up your life. They can tell you can't build where you can't put a fence around your own house. You can. I mean, they're okay. You can't. Your license for business can be removed or not given to. I mean, so we got some boards around here that hold some weight. Evidently, the Parks and Recreation Board don't hold nothing but their. I won't even go there right now. But I'm just saying. So if you don't want if you don't want our help, if you don't need our guidance or advice, then don't have them. That's all I can tell you. Just don't have them. Just leave it alone. Okay? Just leave it alone. Good morning. Who's this? Well, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're good. Yes.
One day and tell him about 2 years ago, I found out from an employee working over at the mental health because of what I was trying to help somebody get a place to live. It's a relative. I was told if a relative take a homeless person in for any period of time and they're on the list to be placed in a home by the mental health department over there, they will take that homeless person off the list. Now, I was told this. I was involved in trying to help that person get a place to live. Okay? So they can do whatever they want to. The things they're going to do for people, they can do it while the people's out. But not come out, you may be in a crisis. I may be in a crisis, Kevin. You may be in the same crisis. But that don't mean I'm going to go kill somebody, just because you might go kill somebody, It happened to me. I would love to talk to that man. Okay, Kevin?
All right. Appreciate it. It's 8:37 in the morning. Let me see who this is. Good morning. Yeah.
Somebody talking about if somebody would have had a gun, they would have did this or that. But you got to have a nerve to shoot somebody. You got to be brave enough to take that step. See, that's reason I really want my wife to have a gun, because you get in a situation where you pull a gun out and you don't use it, they got to take it and shoot up with the gun. So everybody don't need a gun. So you got to what's called Carol, you got to look baby word. Don't ask what's called.
What? I got
the phrase that you use.
What pass?
You gotta have there's a phrase you use when you talk about the man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Phrase you use.
Okay. I can't remember now. I got so many of them. Yeah. No, they don't. Go dance. That's right.
Whoever got a gun needs to shoot that person. They hear that AR-15 going off, they running too like everybody else with the gun in the ear.
Yeah, I got to tell you. Yeah. Well, they already did it now, starting next year. So unless our legislator has the good God-given sense to repeal this thing, yeah, I'm good. Interesting. Yeah, I got that. I know. Your passion took over. I got you. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. Mm-hmm.
Let me give you maybe somebody can verify this. Do you remember Coach Rob Bible?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, this time of year, he actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first time in the 4 years I've been back in Alabama State made the Sweet 16. They played Michigan, who eventually went on and took it all. They had him in the first half. He was running a zone defense, and came back in the second half, went man to man. They just walked over him. I asked him about that because I was coaching midnight basketball at Coach R.Y. about the same time, and we just dominated with that zone defense. But he had Michigan on the ropes, and he lost the game behind that. But let me go on, and the reason I brought his name up. He was over the Parks and Recreation, and I'm wondering if he's still there.
No, he's not there. No, he's not there.
I wonder if he's still in town or whatever. He was brought in here, like a lot of people. And some of these big contracts, like Silver, the guy that left, took $500,000 and gave us a PDF of what was going on. Right? Yeah. But anyway, and I believe, there's ways to some of these government contracts we give these people in public sector. They use the government and the taxpayers to make good on their promises that they give these people. And if you really start looking at that, the one thing that I heard the gentleman say this morning was repeal. There's so many things that when the last mayor left Selma and Perkins got in there, they were finding contracts that had been in place since the 60s, $400,000 or $500,000 a year. Nobody even knew they were there. Well, our government is just laced with that. And what we really need is a strong auditor. But the auditor has no power. So why have an auditor like you're saying on these boards?
Yeah, why have them?
Audit our government. And this is the perfect time to do it. Because this election coming in May could be the same as an open primary.
Right.
Everybody needs to vote in the Republican primary, and let's change the system. Let's put people in there that haven't been there before, and let's see how far we can get.
Yeah.
That's my comment for the week.
And I appreciate, and I do think it's a time for change. Matter of fact, next year as the city council, I'm thinking about really running. I really am. Just getting off the radio and just run. I probably won't win, but I'm gonna raise so much hell until somebody has to pay attention. Because this board thing really got me ticked because you go through all that stuff, you waste your time, you go to all these meetings, and then these summer guns do things, don't even invite you. Wait a minute. Not only don't tell you what's going on, don't even invite you to the process. How in the hell is the mayor of the city of Montgomery going to open up a park and not mention that to the Park and Recreation Board? I mean, how the hell is that going to happen? Come on. Yeah, and that's fine. You don't owe me anything. He don't work for me. Well, actually, he does work for me, actually, to tell you the truth. But anyway, before I go to my next break, let me tell you, this is just between me and the guys. Guys, you know who you are, right? You know who you are, okay? You know who you are, okay? Some of you guys have what we call low T. That's right, and you don't even realize it. But low T affects your life big time. It affects your quality of life. If you have a decrease in your low T. Now, do you know what having your testosterone check should be a part of your annual routine in your man's health. Okay. Do you feel sluggish? Do you feel that you have no energy, low libido? Do you not feel like the man you once were? Probably because you need some tea, some testosterone. Okay. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get on that phone right now. Call Montgomery Men's Health at 440-3663. That's a regular phone. Don't be texting them. 440-3663 and tell them you want to take the test. It's only $99 for testosterone and PSA. PSA has got something to do with the prostate, and they can check that out for you too. And you'll know in a matter of minutes, okay, where you stand, and they can devise a program to get you back up and running like it used to be. You'll walk out there, with your six-pack back or something back anyway. So anyway, give them a call, 440-3663. It is the best $99 you could spend right now in your life. Trust me, it is. I know. I haven't taken mine yet, but I'm going over there. I'm waiting for my appointment to come through. I'm just going to check myself out, make sure that I got all the things I'm supposed to have. Okay, I'm just telling you. I got all the things I'm supposed to have, but I may want to know how to work them better or something. I need some testosterone, low T. Okay, so give them a call. Montgomery Men's Health, 440-3663. Listen, if you're going to spend $100, don't spend it on something to drink. Spend it on this test, and then you know exactly where you stand. Okay, we'll be back.
Craftsman 20-volt trimmer blower combo kit was $129, now $99. Lowe's, home to any possibility. While supplies last, valid 3/17 through 3/23.
A dry start to the new work week. Temperatures up to 76 under a mix of sun and clouds. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, down to 54 degrees. Most of Tuesday will be dry, but we will be watching a strong system pushing in from the west. Showers and storms increasing coverage from the west first, later into the afternoon. And then it all pushes east, so everyone sees rain and storms Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, to Wednesday morning, and some of the storms can be strong to severe.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Hello, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Nothing's being reported to send you on an alternate route. You keep listening. We'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Whether your credit is excellent or just plain slow, a cash-out refinance or equity loan is just a call away. Call the A-Team at MCS in Wetumpka, 567-9000. NMLS 232-876. Buckle up. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
How many miles have you driven past your scheduled auto service checkup? A few hundred or a few thousand? Call Chico's Auto Pros today to schedule a quick service at our Atlanta Highway location.
You're like most Americans. You're pretty much in disbelief with what's going on in the world. As we all know, global problems are having local consequences. Too many of them. And if the peanut butter really hits the fan, are you ready? Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Now's the time to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. Our food kits will ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Having food storage in your home beats government food lines hands down. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today and prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you failed to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specializing in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In Alabama, we know a strong U.S. military keeps us safe and supports hundreds of thousands of good Alabama jobs. But Mo Brooks' bad judgment puts us all at risk. Mo didn't stand up for our troops, voting with Nancy Pelosi and Democrats, and against every other Alabama Republican to cut off funding to destroy ISIS terrorists in the middle of the fight. And Mo was so weak, he even said voters faced a tough choice between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Just before the 2016 election, Mo Brooks said voters had to pick whether Trump
all the time. There we go. Some of them just won't call you back. So.
Well, you need to log that one.
Okay.
Just like since you had somebody on, we reached out to some competitor 3 times.
Was wrong on Trump. And
it ain't like they don't know we exist.
No, but it's our license and it's our responsibility.
Okay. I'll find out who it is. Okay.
Candidates Committee, AlabamaFuturePact.com.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial, the Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And good morning. Who's this? Whoa. Okay, turn that down a little bit out there. We can get to you. All right. Yes. Pretty good. Hmm.
You're talking about these people, like the lady on this and all these different people. But do you notice, Kat, and I know y'all, it's easy to whoop on the valve, you know, it's easy to whoop on them. But what about all these others? They doing the same thing we do. Some of them worse. You know, we're in a time now where nobody want to talk to you, and they won't talk to you. And one young lady told me that she went to the city council meeting Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Was a white guy there, had a report on how many people have been killed in the city jail or have been killed by police officers. They say, Brother Baylock says, y'all let him speak, but you don't have to answer this question. What do you mean? What the hell do you mean you don't have to answer this question? The man actually, see, that's the attitude that people, then y'all wonder why people have these guns and why they shoot people. You know what I'm saying? They flip reality. They frustrated, they upset. You can't talk to nobody about nothing. People getting raped. I'm trying to thrill to another place. I heard the guy talking about, you know, these military, they have been closed down. And these guys, I know a lot of them out here walking around. And a lot of these ladies tell me about how they sons and like mainly daughters to be mistreated in the prison institution. That probably need to be on the internet. The lady told me I was going to leave her last night. She said, I got a letter from some place with her son. She said, but I don't understand what it's saying. Say, I need to get with you and Kim. You know, that's my co-host. I said, you send it to her. These people, I'm like, I'm trying to hold my composure because they say, oh, he's a minister. These ministers ain't know nothing. Right? Yeah. The minister used to lead the fight about the work don't have with these ministers. I was thinking earlier this morning. know Dr. King was at the Birmingham jail when he wrote that up from the Birmingham jail.
But I've seen the letter. I mean, I don't remember. That was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of black ministers. They gonna throw their Bible in the trash can or somewhere because they're not gonna stand up and speak up what's going on. If we would just take a stand, the ministers could change themselves while in the black. They could change it. Like when they jumped on what Trump was doing, everything they got behind him with a lot of wrongdoing, a lot of them been behind Putin his wrongdoing. They ain't saying nothing. There's no saying, I'm going to let you come out and speak out about it. Because, see, I know what God would do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I put my faith in it. I don't talk about it. Not that any white or black minister want to do, not challenge them. On anything, want to stand up and want to fight for what is right. I'm ready to go. Look at the TIs and all these folks. It just frustrates. It just makes me sick. I actually have Dr. King tell me. But he could make it on a time like this. You say it all the time. One thing I'm gonna get off of this. You said that I'm planning on running for city council, but you won't get off the radio. But you have the power with the mic in your hand to talk about being devil before you get off. When I say devil, I mean black and white devil. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
See, because you have influence that way. And you can reach out to her from that. That was the real radio this time that people talk about. Don't wait till you get out there like people say, a lot of these people wait till they were top of the field and these different. Then you look at, then they want to talk about what
you got a point there too. Yeah, you got a point there. No sense being a hero when I left. Yeah, you're right. I better stay where I am. I better stay where I am. Then they can ignore me if I'm running. 860-1440 is the number you want to give us. Call 8:55 in the morning. Got a couple minutes left. You got something on your mind. A lot of other things were happening over the weekend. So what else I got to do today? Oh, I took Z on his last what do you call that? The driving lesson in the parking lot. Now I got to go there and get his permit, and we're gonna hit the street, baby. We're gonna hit the street. That's right. He took me to the street Saturday, but I was a little nervous there, you know. I had to do something with Z that I have never had to do since he's been born. He's 15 years old. I've never had to do it, but we were in the car, and one of my old customers called me. I used to work on computers. Said her printer was bad, and that she had her husband just came home from the hospital under the care of hospice, and I had to explain to him because we were on the phone, that we were on the Bluetooth, so he heard the conversation, and he was about ready to die, and I had to sit there and explain to him that we all do. I'm going to. My mother did. Her mother did. My father did. My grandfather. I mean, it happens. But you know, I took that moment to reflect upon life and the circle of life that we had. We had never talked about it because I didn't know if he was. I don't know if he was old enough to. I didn't know if he was old enough to handle that. As a matter of fact. Well. Wait a minute. Here's my butt. Well. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get this right quick. Man, I only got but 3 minutes left, brother. Right. What time is it now? It's 8:57. No, it's 8:57. I understand. So let's do it tomorrow. Okay, man. Appreciate it. Let me take one more. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah, pretty good. What's that? Yeah. Oh, okay. You don't even look at it. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I expect to get that for him. Yeah, I understand. I gotta go. Time's up.
News update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning. I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday.
Say what?
The victim of a deadly shooting in Tuskegee Friday night was a Tuskegee University football player. The athletics department confirmed 20-year-old Reginald Summit Jr. was shot and killed there. He was found Friday night off Martin Luther King Highway. 21-year-old Marquavius Lee DeGros was arrested with tanks. The church in Montgomery is working to provide relief to the people of Ukraine. The Dalraida Church of Christ church members and volunteers loaded up more than 240 buckets of supplies and basic necessities. Goods will be sent to countries in Poland for Ukrainian refugees. The odds of Alabama getting a lottery are getting better. There are now 4 different pieces of gambling legislation in the state house. These bills are strictly for a state lottery. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
WLWI AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, the Cumulus Media Station. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An explosion rocking a devastated shopping mall in Ukraine's capital, where at least 8 people were killed by shelling earlier in the day. Kyiv's mayor says shops, pharmacies, and gas stations will be closed at least through tomorrow. Diplomatic efforts seem to be going nowhere. Correspondent Wendy Gillette is near the Polish border.
Ukraine turned down a proposal to send up a white flag in Mariupol in exchange for humanitarian